Well, there's honestly not a whole lot I can tell you. We aren't quite sure what side he's on, since he hasn't joined a guild. However, I can tell you that his first opponent is still alive. Well, that did make me relieved, somewhat. It meant that either his first invasion was still ongoing, the units he sent were too weak, or he just had no interest in killing another keeper. While two of those weren't exactly good answers, it did leave more hope than if he just killed the first keeper that he fought. I sent a brief thanks to Alcahest, closing the conversation. Lying on the bed behind me were Rion and Terra, both cuddled up with each other and looking exhausted. Although we had only been putting on a brief show, the gods all seemed to have been releasing their divine power to impress the people of the three worlds. While this might have benefits later, it ended up leaving them drained for now. Turning towards them, I sent a curious glance towards Terra. So, question time. She groaned, her ears flicking from side to side while she rolled over to face me. Rion immediately took the chance, wrapping her arms around Terra and moving in to press herself fully against the cat-girl goddess. What are the rank 1 systems? I assumed that one of them would be the ability to invite other keepers to your admin room. Alcahest had told me from the beginning that that ability would be free once I qualified for the games, but not what other systems would be included. Others. Terra let out a long yawn, nuzzling back against Rion's head. Monster spawner, like a purchased entity, but not. Rather than explaining it, Terra lifted a hand, causing my chair to rotate back and make me face my computer. The screen had shifted to the forums, where a page I hadn't seen before appeared. Monster Spawn Tutorial. For all you new Rank 1 keepers, here's a rundown of one of the new systems that you would have just received, the Monster Spawner. This works just like the Calamity Spawner, only that instead of spawning natural or magical disasters, you spawn a monster. However, this isn't just any monster. With the Monster Spawner, you can only spawn a monster race that has previously been born in your world. Furthermore, the monster you spawn is not a specific entity. So if you spawn an intelligent monster, it will not have the same personality as one you might have known. Using the Monster Spawner is simple. All you need to do is select the monster you wish to spawn, as well as the number and location. Once you do that, the system will calculate a point cost. This is useful for filling your world with strong monsters just before an invasion to help defend against a hostile force, or just as training. As an advanced feature, it is possible to set a conditional spawn. This is a more costly version, but once implemented, will continue until removed. To do this, you must complete the above steps, as well as assign a condition for when the system spawns additional monsters. This is a good way to create a training environment, by having monsters spawn at regular intervals after the previous ones were slain. In many cases, this resembles the game system's method of spawning monsters after it has just been launched. However, the game system typically only creates monsters until the world has been populated sufficiently, and only spawns more after the monster threshold has dropped beyond a certain degree, as assigned by the keeper when they purchase the system. Furthermore, you have no direct control over what monsters are spawned by the game system, unlike the Monster Spawner. Note, only creatures not purchased as a race by a keeper can classify as monsters. I found myself reading through the post multiple times. I could see how this would be useful, especially in setting up dungeons. In fact, it might even be a good idea now, taking advantage of this system and the time zones to mass-produce dungeons that can be used as training grounds. Glancing towards Terra, I smiled slightly. If I raise the intelligence of the dungeon core race, will that apply to the currently created dungeons, or just the new ones that we spawn in later? Just new ones, she muttered simply, her eyes lightly closed. Her hands came up to her stomach, resting on top of Rion's hands. And would it be possible to quickly expand a dungeon's territory if they were given a sufficient supply of mana? This time I got her to open one of her eyes to send a tired glance at me. Yes.